Bom dia, meu povo. Bem-vindo de novo a Salvador, Bahia. Do you remember that apartment that I was raving about a couple of episodes ago? And was even asking the sea goddess Iemanjá to help me and intervene? Well, looks like I did not get the apartment. Despite our best efforts, the landlord never called Eliomar back. The first 3 days after I saw the apartment, I was very, very enthused and excited about it. But since then, my excitement has waned, and I kind of was coming to the realization that it might not happen, and it turns out it isn't happening. So I'm going to go ahead with Plan B, which is at the end of next month, move back to the small city of Santo Antônio de Jesus, which is about 4 hours from Salvador by ferry boat and van. The small city where I used to live, where Eliomar, my brother-in-law, lives, and his 2 daughters also live there. And just for 4 months. I'm just going to live there December, January, February, and March. And it will be a good opportunity to put aside some money, save some money, because what I will be paying there is like a third of what I pay here. I'll be sharing an apartment with one of Eliomar's daughter, Elsie Mata. She's a university student. And I'll be paying the rent, but as I said, the rent is significantly cheaper. And I'll be able to put aside money every month for those 4 months that I'm out there. And then when I am ready to move back to Salvador at the beginning of April, I'll have a nest egg, and I'll have more breathing room and more funds to get the apartment of my dreams without feeling squeezed. And I can deal with 4 months. As I've said before, Santo Antônio is not the most exciting place in the world, but it is located here in the state of Bahia. There is lots to see and do in the area, and I can also, of course, come into Salvador whenever I want and spend the night at one of my other brother-in-law's houses, Elcinho. Come in for the different festivals, the Festival de Santa Bárbara, Réveillon, which means New Year's Eve here, the Lavagem de Bonfim in early January, the Festival de Iemanjá, Iemanjá Festival Day, which is one of my favorites in the Rio Vermelho neighborhood. That's always on February 2nd. And then, of course, the biggie, Carnival, which is happening in February again this year. And then, sooner than I know it, I'll be back in Salvador permanently. No more ever going back to Santo Antônio. And I could deal with this. So that's a basket full of puppy dogs, a mother and her little babies. That's very cute. I'm going to enjoy my last month and a half here in Salvador in my current apartment. And then December 1st, move back to Santo Antônio, and then I'll be back here on April 1st. And, I don't hate Santo Antônio. Yes, the city is boring. That's my opinion of Santo Antônio de Jesus. It's a plain Jane city. It's not charming. But, hey, I'm in Brazil, I'm in Bahia, and as I said, Santo Antônio is not far from lots of beautiful spots. And I'm not going to mope around the apartment in San Antonio. I'm going to go out every day, and I'm going to take frequent day trips and overnight trips and weekend trips to interesting places in the region. Oh, and I'm going to take advantage of that time to schedule and take that required Portuguese language test, which is required as the first step towards getting Brazilian citizenship, which I'm eligible for. So I will need to come in, spend one whole day in Salvador for that test. And that's something I want to accomplish during those 4 months. One thing I need to find out is if I'm required to take a Portuguese language course before I take the test. I originally thought I was required, but I consider myself a fluent or near fluent Portuguese speaker now. I first started learning Portuguese 25 years ago, so I've been speaking, studying, living in, loving in Portuguese for a quarter of a century now. Surely that's long enough. And I really don't want to have to take a course. It would be an online course, but still, I just want to take the test. And I'm sure that I will pass it. So I will investigate that and let you know. Oh God, Christmas decorations in the middle of October. It happens here too. Look, Feliz Natal, Merry Christmas, please spare me. My goal every day is to walk between 2 to 4 hours a day. 2 hours minimum, 3 hours average, and occasionally it'll be 4 hours. That's a lot of walking, but I wouldn't do it if I didn't enjoy it. Walking is great exercise, and it's a great way to explore. There's nothing like it. And I encourage all of you to become walkers. I think today's walk will be 2.5 hours. Walking from my apartment up here, up the hill, and up here to the Avenida 7 de Setembro, which is, I guess you could call it Salvador's old centro or downtown. Now a working class shopping area. And then very soon I'm going to turn around and walk back. And sometimes I stop in this church just to rest in the pews, not for any religious reasons, but it's just a nice place to rest for a few minutes on my long walk. Imagine it's Wednesday around 3 o'clock in the afternoon and that church was full. I could not find a seat. Now I'm going to check out these used books. Well, without any planning, I find myself in a neighborhood called Bahis. I like this neighborhood. It's been many years since I've been in this neighborhood. It's an older, traditional neighborhood. There, the name. Cantina do Bahis. Bahis is the name of the neighborhood. And it's just a pleasant neighborhood. I wouldn't mind living in this neighborhood. I'm sure it would be a hell of a lot less expensive in the neighborhood I'm living in now. And when I return to Salvador at the beginning of April, I'm definitely going to think about looking for apartments around here. It would be quiet, but very centrally located. I think it's a pretty safe neighborhood. I'd have to investigate that a little bit more. But anyway, I'm enjoying exploring these streets and seeing this neighborhood again for the first time, in 20 years? It's been a long time. Yes, I'm liking this neighborhood more and more as I walk through it. I love these old trees, and it has a very neighborhood feel to it. Definitely going to check this area out. Look at this beautiful old yellow building here. I love that. I love the way in Salvador, just walking down the street and you come across these beautiful old buildings. Yep, this is my kind of neighborhood. Older, with lots of character, lots of people. I'm definitely going to be checking this out as a possible area of the city to live in. So folks, I'm going to start the long walk home now. Thanks for joining me today. Beijos, ciao.